Roller coasters themselves are fun, allegedly, but how can we elevate that experience without murdering people with extreme forces? America hates it, for the most part, but typically Europe wants even the toilets to be themed. But let's take a look at some of the more interesting pieces of theming on roller coasters across the world. Starting in Europe, in the UK, which yes, is still part of it,
Blue passport.
we have Alton Towers, the only park here that actually cares about theming. Nemesis Reborn is one of the most themed coasters in the world. Giant eyeball, these massive thick legs, a tail so long, so spiky. The atmosphere here is really something special. Even the sound design excels with constant crab noises and the blaring soundtrack that permeates the area. Look at the creature come when the train passes over. Awe-inspiring stuff. A boxy Minecraft Roblox Terraria Minecraft gun shoots as the train goes across the first corkscrew, and smoke is dispensed as it drives further down into the deep TNT-assisted holes. Some of the surroundings are a little less interesting, more akin to a construction site, and the long-revered blood-red waterfalls are yet to be installed. Despite Nemesis being a clear standout, there are other well-themed rides and towers. The Smiler is one that really stands out for me. Based around a fictional company that marmalizes people into becoming perpetually happy, the storyline ties in so well with the twisted, condensed design. Seeing the Smiler in person definitely changed something in my brain chemistry, and started a journey of becoming overly interested in roller coasters as a grown adult child man. There's just such a distinct vibe to this coaster, it really feels special, even if many don't enjoy the actual ride experience. One thing I dislike, however, is the queue line. Sure, it fits in with the theme. A tight, confined metal hallway, music blasting overly loud, and being stuck in close proximity to the British public. Horrifying, sure, but mostly just annoying. The final ride I want to briefly talk about at Alton Towers is the Wicker Man. It's obviously pretty striking. Bob stands front and center. That's his name. Lit aflame and engulfing the train multiple times throughout the ride. It's beautifully integrated. It even starts with a pre-show film, and as much love as I have for this type of theming, it does go on for a bit long. Something else to mention is the fact that this is a family coaster. Alton Towers definitely leans more into horror themes than most other theme parks, and I think that it makes it stand out a little more than most. But let's move away from Tower Street, and away from the United Kingdom entirely, because the rest of Europe contains some of the most expensive and expansive and reprehensible theming of them all. We'll get to America later, and let me tell you, I have some stern words for them. Taron, along with another ride in Phantasialand, are just so striking and well crafted. Taron takes you through an Elden Norse fantasy setting, mostly in between hexagonal pillars of basalt stone. Glimpses of a vast wooden city named Klugheim, Klugheim, and even a somewhat disguised dragon that looms over the track. It's giving GOAT status. It's a multi-launch coaster, and so actually seeing any of the theming might be pretty difficult, but the strong emphasis on near-miss moments definitely adds quite a bit. Fun fact, there is actually a Chinese clone of this thing. It's taken a budget cut, but it still looks pretty nice going through these grassy ruins. That being said, I think this is a pretty good argument for why theming is just so important sometimes. The other ride at Phantasialand, and one of my personal favorites theming-wise, is Fly, the 2020 Vekoma flying coaster. It also travels through a fictional city, this time being focused on the steampunk aesthetic. And honestly, it bangs. Hell, it even The ride is just so well integrated into the city, with it flying through gaps in buildings, and narrowly missing the rooftops, pipes, and pools along its way. The city actually contains Phantasialand's third hotel, which to be honest, sounds miserable. Alright, I might have been a little bit too harsh on America, the self-proclaimed roller coaster central. While typically, most of the coasters here don't really invest in theming in the same way that many here in Europe do, the signs though. There are quite a few incredibly themed rides that I would be amiss to not talk about. So let's go to America. Starting with the most blatant and obvious choice, Fury 325. No, just kidding. Expedition Everest. Obviously, Disney is pretty prominent in theming, as they really have the budget to create an entire mountain just for a single ride. Maybe the fact that they own everything in the world is good, actually. This coaster really does look like the full package theming-wise. It focuses a lot on storytelling and pacing, which I think is missing from a lot of coasters. Velocicoaster is definitely one that appeals to me more. The combination of vegetation and natural-looking rock formations is definitely visually appealing, even if it's not particularly unique. A more standout part is the station though, with models, screens with animated scenes, even animatronics. It just goes all out. God damn. If you're drooling at the mouth for Jurassic Park, then get your asshole over here right now, because apparently the ride is decent as well. Theming. We have talked about it. Too much, some might say. But I hope you enjoyed your wasted time. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time when I rehash old ideas for views.